Eighth grader John Smith is doing something doctors never believed would be possible.
I don't really remember much about it, to be honest.
He is walking and talking, here with his pastor Jason Noble by his side, and trying to make sense of how he's not just alive, but thriving after being underwater for 15 minutes.
Listening to what the paramedics and doctors said, I'm pretty surprised on the outcome.
An outcome some say fits in with all of the other miracles that day and in the days that followed. Like the fact Lake St. Louis fire and emergency crews had just practiced ice rescues the week before they pulled John out. And the doctor who was on duty in the emergency room at SSM St. Joseph Hospital West the day of the accident, Dr. Kent Suter, whose daughter is in the same class with John at Living Word Christian School.
And in my mind, this is a very grim, very poor chance at survival.
Dr. Suter and his team performed CPR on John for 27 minutes with no success. The question was raised, how long should they continue?
Everybody says, well, the cold helped him. He was dead for over 45 minutes.
What happened next defies explanation. Dr. Suter called John's mother into the room to give her the news.
John's mom came in and started praying loudly.
I don't remember what all I said, but I remember telling God, please send your Holy Spirit to save my son. I want my son, please save him. And they hadn't been getting a pulse at that time, and so all of a sudden I heard them start saying, we've got a pulse, we've got a pulse.
Within a matter of a minute or two, his heart started again.
It's an experience that's shaken many of those in the emergency room that day. This veteran of responding to medical crisis wrote a letter about it as a way to cope.
That's when his heart was jump-started by the Holy Spirit, listening to the request of his praying mother.
Dr. Jeremy Garrett, who oversaw John's recovery, even goes a step further.
This is a bona fide miracle.
John was airlifted to Cardinal Glennon Children's Medical Center about 2 hours after the accident. Dr. Garrett said he knew within about the first 16 hours after John's arrival that his body would physically survive the ordeal. What he didn't know was how much brain function he would have.
The lungs aren't full of water. They're starting to fill with inflammation.
But within 48 hours, family members reported things he didn't expect, like John opening his eyes. Then relatives told him this teen, who loves to play and watch basketball, was responding to questions about his two favorite players.
Did a very interesting neurologic exam. We said, well, John, pretend your left hand is LeBron James and your right hand is Michael Jordan. And then asked him a series of questions and he got them all right. It was really amazing.
What's happened since then has been a dizzying rate of continuous recovery, one even doctors are trying to keep up with.
And to watch your son sit up and amaze the doctors. I mean, from the neurologist coming in and say, we don't know what to do next because we've never seen this before.
We heard you like chocolate shakes.
While we were visiting, John's rescuers from the Lake St. Louis Fire Department showed up bringing lunch, seeing for themselves the boy who survived 15 minutes under the ice.
I know it doesn't fit inside our little comfortable box of today, but again, you can't refute the clinical evidence.
And while his parents haven't spoken to their son about his impulsive decision to walk out on the ice that day with two friends, they know their son has learned more than any lecture could teach him.
It's a real miracle that I'm alive, and I thank God that I'm alive, and there's a reason that I'm alive. I just kind of got to follow what God has in store for me throughout my life.